Hey guys, welcome back to Building Ghana's Future, a place where we build homes for Africa and her children. Thank the Most High for another beautiful day. Alright, so today we are going to be following up what happens after you are done digging your foundation. So, after you've dug your foundation, the next step is to cast your concrete. Very boring step if you ask me, but very necessary. All right, it's very important that you do that step and you don't skip it. Remember, you're building your foundation and everything else is sitting on top of this foundation, so you want to make sure it's as solid as it can be. All right, so that you don't have any problems moving forward. So stay tuned for this very next step, and make sure you guys are liking and subscribing. And thank you all that have already subscribed. I really appreciate your support. Hey guys, so in this section we're going to be talking about concrete casting. This is the step that follows up after you're done digging your trenches. Alright, so in this section, quite simple, but also very important, as I had previously mentioned. Alright, so in this section, as you're gonna see, my guys are prepping up everything. We're gonna have our concrete, our stones and sand ready. You see guys laying the DPM, which is the damp proof membrane. All right, that's all going to be laid out just so we don't have any dampness rising from the ground. This is especially important when you have areas that are known to have a lot of water in the ground. All right, so you see people's buildings. More so in America, you wouldn't see it much in America, but here in Ghana, you see more so people's the bottom of their buildings appealing. All right, that's because the water in the ground is kind of rising up and causing dampness in the concrete or the blocks. All right, so we put down the DPM to prevent those type of situations. All right, you would also see that they're mixing Dr. Fix-It, which is like this liquid form. It has many, it's like a chemical used mixed, it's a mixture of that and water and mixed with the concrete. All right, so you see in one of the blue barrels over there, there's white water in there, and the operator is mixing that with the concrete mixture, the stones and the sand. That's what that is for. All right, so that chemical on its own has many benefits. All right, it's multi-purpose. So it prevents stuff like cracking, shrinkage. It helps with bonding, deals with erosion in the ground. Waterproofing is a big thing for that chemical. Most people would use it just for that waterproofing aspect of it. All right, so overall it improves the durability of the building, especially the foundation, just so you don't have any issues moving forward with chippings of your walls and crackings, stuff like that. So very important, important chemical to use when building your foundation. It will help a lot. In my case, though I don't really have much water in the soil, like I said in previous videos, it's very solid ground. So these are all just extra steps taken, putting down the DPM, which is the black rubber you saw the gentleman putting down in the trenches, and mixing the Dr. Fix-It with the concrete before we pour it in the ground. So those were extra steps that I took in precaution to make sure that, in case water do lug in my foundation at some point, and we have that kind of issue, that it's prevented. All right. So in this section, I guess the question at hand would be, why do concrete casting, right? Because back in the day, people were just, after they dug their trenches, they just pretty much went straight to building their blocks, all right? Just straight to building blocks, and on they went from there. But so why do we do concrete casting now? So it's pretty much just to improve the stability of the building, all right? As I had mentioned before, this is your foundation. Everything else depends on it. So over the years, the previous generations, they realized that they were having foundation issues. So this was a step that was introduced um, to help with the foundation, make sure that everything sits right and that you don't have any um, cave-ins or crack-ins or things like that after you've finished constructing your building. All right. So what we're doing here is just taking that precautionary step to make sure that we don't have foundation issues, 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road. We're taking every step um, possible to make sure that this house is as solid as can be. Okay, so the whole point of this concrete casting is for stability. All right, to make sure that our house is built on solid ground. Okay, so as you can see, there's not much machines over here. Everything is being done old school. Guys with wheelbarrows just walking around, collecting concrete and pouring it out. We have our masons out there making sure that the concrete being poured is leveled. All right. So what these guys do is the next step after this, we are going to be laying blocks and then setting the pillars. So you see that in the corners, and especially where pillars are supposed to go in the building, that those sections are not going to have any concrete on it. All right. They are going to leave those sections clear, so that when the concrete, the pillars are set, that they are set on good grounds and leveled grounds. And then, from there, more work will follow. So you see that, I also have the steel benders, doing their work old school, bending those iron rods and getting them prepared for the next step. Okay. Yeah, so thank you all for joining me in this episode. I pray you all have a blessed day, and take care. Bye-bye.